So hello students, now we will study about the structure of kidney tubule. Now the kidney tubule is consist of the following parts. They are the Bowman capsule, you can see in this picture also. There is a PCT, is a proximal convoluted tubule or first convoluted tubule. There is a loop of Henle and there is a distal convoluted tubule. Now this Bowman capsule, it is a cup-like structure. Okay, and it is a thin walled cup-like structure. It has a hollow space inside, and that spaces consist of blood capillaries, and that blood capillaries are also called as glomerulus. The Bowman capsule along with the glomerulus is called as Malpighian capsule, or also called as renal capsule. Next part is the proximal convoluted tubule. So this is the part that starts just after the Bowman capsule. Okay, and after the proximal convoluted tubule part, there is a part called middle part is a loop of Henle. So it is a U-turn part, and it's not a convoluted one. It runs in medulla to turn back and to re-enter the cortex to continue to next convoluted region. And at last comes the distal convoluted tubule, and which is lying at the end part of the kidney tubule, and this distal convoluted tubule, it connects to the collecting duct. The collecting duct receives the content of many kidney tubule and pours it as urine. So this is about the structure of kidney tubule. So kidney tubule is consist of Bowman capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule. Next is the blood supply. Okay, so we must discuss that how the blood supplies to the kidney tubule. So at first what happens, you can see here the renal artery part is shown. So renal arteries, they from the aorta they enters the kidney, and each renal artery they branch and re-branched to give rise to arterioles, and the Bowman capsule under the name of this efferent arterioles, and that arterioles that enters the Bowman capsule. So the renal arteries that enters the Bowman capsule, they are called as efferent arteriole. And this efferent arteriole, they break up into number of capillaries to form glomerulus that are fitted to the Bowman capsule. Okay. And the reuniting capillaries of the glomerulus, they form the efferent arteriole, that is to carry away. And they, after emerging from Bowman capsule, they runs a short distance and breaks into secondary capillary network. So this as the renal artery, they branched and rebranched to form arteriole, and that enters the glomerulus. So Bowman capsule, sorry. So when they enters the Bowman capsule, it is called as efferent arteriole. And this efferent arteriole, they breaks into number of capillaries here, and that are fitted to the Bowman capsule. And this reuniting capillaries, they form the efferent arteriole, and that carries away. And this efferent arteriole, after emerging from the Bowman capsule, they runs a short distance and they break up into capillary network, which surrounds the renal tubule and the regions and the rejoins to form a vein. So by uniting again and with other veins to kidney, it ultimately forms a renal vein, which leaves the kidney at the median surface to pour the blood to the posterior vena cava. Okay, so I am repeating once more. That is how the blood supplies to the kidney tubules. Now there is the renal artery is there. Renal artery, they connect the aorta to the kidney. This renal artery, they branched and rebranched several times to form arterioles. Now these arterioles, they enter the Bowman capsule, and there they break up into capillaries, that is called as efferent arteriole. And this efferent arteriole, then after emerging from the Bowman capsule, they runs a short distance and they break into capillary network that surrounds the nephron, the renal tubule, and they rejoins to form a vein. Okay, and in the form of this renal vein, they leaves the kidney, and that renal vein poured the blood into the posterior vena cava. In this way, blood supplies to the kidney tubules. Next is the function of kidney. Kidney performs main function is ultrafiltration. It helps in reabsorption and tubular secretion. Now, what is this ultrafiltration? Now, the blood, while passing through the glomerulus under a great pressure, they enters the then they goes to the capillaries. The reason for this great pressure is that the efferent arteriole is narrower than the efferent arteriole. So, the blood flows to the glomerulus under pressure. Why? Because the efferent arteriole that is releasing out is narrower than the efferent arteriole, and because of this high pressure, that causes the liquid part of the blood to filter out from the glomerulus into the renal tubule, and this process is called as ultrafiltration. And during this process, all the liquid part of the blood, they comes out of the glomerulus, and they comes to the Bowman capsule, and that fluid is called as glomerular filtrate, which consists of water, urea, salt, etc. Next, so as now blood has entered to Bowman capsule, next is the reabsorption. The glomerular filtrate now will enter the renal tubule, and that there are many of the useful materials like glucose and some other salts are also present. So the filtrate will now pass down the tubule, and within that time much of the water will be absorbed, and whatever things are not required, that only will be eliminated. That is called as which is also called as selective reabsorption. Next, it is the part, the tubular secretion, and within this part, certain substances like potassium or some foreign substances like antibiotics, penicillin, some other medicines are there, which are passed into the urine, and they reaches to distal convoluted tubule, and this passage, it involves the activity of the cells to the tubular wall, and that is why it is called as tubular secretion. So this much is about the function of kidney. So next comes the urine excretion. So finally now the urine has reached to distal convoluted tubule. Now from the distal convoluted tubule, the urine will go to the collecting duct. Okay. Now, and from the collecting duct, the urine will reach to the urinary bladder, from the urinary bladder to urethra, and it will be released out. This process is called as micturition. Urine, constituents of urine. In normal urine, it consists of about 95% of water and 5% of solid waste that are dissolved in it. The solid wastes are dissolved unit. Okay. Now, there are some abnormal constituents of urine, like when blood comes out, which is also known as hematuria, and in this condition, the blood passes with the urine due to some infection or due to some kidney stones or tumor. Glucose. If glucose is there in the urine, that is called as glycosuria. That is also a cause due to diabetes mellitus. Albumin. Now, due to high blood pressure, the Bowman capsule, sometimes some proteins are secreted out through the urine. Okay, bile pigment. So, due to anemia or due to jaundice or hepatitis or liver cirrhosis, urine may also come out. That is, urine also contains the bile pigments. Next is the osmoregulation. The osmoregulation is the maintenance of constant osmotic pressure in the fluids of an organism by the control of water and salt concentration. Now, the kidney, while removing the waste like urea, they need to regulate its composition. That is, the percentage of water and salt concentration should be regulated. This is called as osmoregulation. Next is the artificial kidney. Now, if one of the kidney is damaged or removed for some reason, the other kidney can do its work. But if both the kidney fail, so in that case we need an artificial kidney which can help to clean the or to purifies the blood, and that is also called as dialysis machine. And in that case the patient blood is led from a radial artery in his arm through the machine where the urea and excess salts are removed, and the purified blood is returned to a vein in the same arm. So here we are finishing over the chapter, the excretory system. Thank you.